Good evening and welcome to the October 30th Town Council meeting. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before I start tonight's meeting, I would like to make a address the departure of Town Manager Ryan McNutt last week. On Thursday, October 26th, the Palmer Town Council and Town Manager Ryan McNutt came to an agreement to accept Mr. McNutt's resignation. We want to thank Ryan for his service to the Palmer community and wish him the best. We want to clarify for the town's taxpayers the financial impact of Mr. McNutt's departure. Under a separation agreement between the town and Mr. McNutt will be paid the equivalent of 4.5 months of pay for a total of $55,050.38. Mr. McNutt will also be paid for his accrued vacation, as is the case with any departing employee. That payment is $15,174.70. We understand that residents may have questions, but the Town Council will not be addressing questions about Mr. McNutt's departure in an open meeting, as would be the case with any personal matter. Other than this statement and the separation agreement with Mr. McNutt, the Town Council will not be responding to questions about Mr. McNutt. Again, we thank him for his service to the Palmer community and we wish him the best. When we open the public comment period, you are free to share thoughts or questions, but the council will not be providing further comments. After the public comment period, the council will take up tonight's agenda, which involves the process of filling the position of town manager. I'll now open public comments. I would ask if you're going to come forward that you please give your name and address. And
Roger Fortune, 196 Flint Street, Palmer, Mass. I've been in the government for 25 years of my life. I've never seen anything like this before. Usually you get fired, you get up to a job and you resign or you get fired. But I've never been to a place where you resign from a job and they pay you for it. Now when you resign, all the jobs I've had, all the jobs in the government that I've seen, I've been on the boards for hiring, everything. Never saw this before in my life, where it's accepted like that. I'm just totally disgusted with this. $55,000 of our tax money. Our taxes keep going up. What do we have to show? Really? Take a look around the town. I don't know if you guys opened your eyes or not, but take a look. Ain't got nothing going on. Belchertown's building like crazy. What are we doing? Nothing. Nothing's going on here. Solar field, that's about it. That's all I got to say. I've been a resident. I'm the 4th generation in this town. That's how long we've been here. My daughter bought a house here. She's the 5th generation in this town. And I saw this town when it was in its glory. Now it's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah, the factories left and stuff. I got friends that I see all these people dying in the town of drugs. I don't see one bust by our police department at all for people dying of drugs. Our friends are dying. People we know. People older than us are getting involved. Not seeing nothing. Nothing. It's just really getting bad around here. That's all. That's all I got to say.
anybody else?
Hi, my name is Chris Smith. I'm a resident of Town Palmer on Oakland Street. The only comment I would like to make is I would like to thank Mr. McNutt for his service. I disagree a little bit with Mr. Fortune. I think that Mr. McNutt was handed a plate of disarray when he came here by a former town manager, particularly with the sewage treatment plant. That issue had been dealt with since 2017. It's currently 2023. The board approved $5 million in 2021, and it's almost up to $8 million now. There has been economic development that has happened under Mr. McNutt's term here. I look at Thorndike Street, how much better it looks. I look at Legion Field, the bleachers. They're not dilapidated anymore. There's work that's gone on at the high school. There's Liberty Plaza in the works. There has been a lot of work that was done by Mr. McNutt, and I am very, very sorry that his tenure has ended the way it has here. The last meeting I spoke about the contentious nature of this board, and I truly hold each one of you partially responsible for the dollars that we are going to spend on Mr. McNutt's departure. It is a resignation, I understand that, but I think it's awful the way this has been handled. It's very, very awful for those of us as residents. It puts us in the forefront, in the face of every newspaper, every TV station, and I know legally you can't say anything, he can't say anything, but we all know what's happened and transpired in our hearts here. And I am very sorry for this, for him, and also for you, that it's had to come down to this. But we don't deserve it as residents, not at all.
My name is Scott C. Day. I live at 1688 North Main Street, Palmer. I respect everything both of you said. I will say this. I've dealt with Mr. McNutt. He has done some things. Liberty Plaza, I like that. That's a good thing. His issue was he didn't know how to speak to people. He spoke rudely to me. He spoke rudely to people on the Palmer Grand Master Planning Board. So I think if he could have tempered himself, drawn himself in, he did do some good things in the town. I do agree with that, but you have to have both. You have to know how to deal with people. He called me at one of the meetings. He said, and you are just a citizen? I said, no, not just a citizen, a citizen. So although he did do good, you need to know how to speak with people.
Anybody else?
My name is Ruth Curtin. I live on River Street in Thorndike. I'd like to make a suggestion, a common sense suggestion to our town council. In choosing the next town manager, could we please look at our surrounding 7 towns and look at the salaries of these people before we make a decision as to how much we're going to pay our town manager? I think that's critically important. We're not a wealthy community, and I really think it's very important for us to look at finances. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, seeing no other comments, we'll move on to the agenda. First item is the appointment of an acting town manager. So I did reach out to Chief Burns to see if he was willing to serve temporarily as the acting. This would not be all the duties of a town manager, but basically someone who's just going to make sure that items are addressed that need to be addressed, that are time critical, not doing the role of the town manager. He has agreed to do that for a 2-week period, and then for us to reevaluate where we stand after 2 weeks. So with that, I will make a motion to appoint Chief Christopher Burns, effective tomorrow, October 31st.
So moved.
I have a quick question before we vote. Is this compensated or not compensated?
At this point, no, it is not.
Okay.
I made the motion. Do you want to make the second?
I did.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, thank you. This next item is discussion regarding the advertising for an interim town manager. So we do need to move fairly quickly on this. We have the option of either advertising for the position or just putting someone in. I do think that we should advertise to see what we get for interest. So
Speak into the microphone, please.
I am actually. Do you have the microphone set up so that it projects in the back of the room? You know what I'm talking about? So they should be able to hear.
It's on.
It is? Okay, I am speaking into the microphone, I'm sorry. So,
Sorry if I am.
Move a little closer, sir. There's seats closer up, if that may help.
I will try to talk louder. My understanding is there is a microphone back there. Okay. So what we would be looking for is to advertise, hope the goal would be tomorrow in the MMA, on the Beacon, which is an online publication of job opportunities for municipal positions. And then, I mean, I don't see how we don't do that for a 2-week period, and then hopefully the goal would be to try to get someone in here as an interim before the end of November is what I'm thinking should be doable. Any other comments or suggestions on that?
Just as long as it's restricted to a 14-day period and then we move.
Yeah, so I'm talking a 10-day, basically like 2 weeks from, yeah.
Tomorrow,
Well,
basically.
yeah, like.
Business
it-
days,
yeah,
obviously, right.
yeah.
Okay.
The only other thing I was saying, would it not be prudent also on the Palmer page itself, maybe there is actually somebody in town that is qualified and interested?
Okay. What's
have the skin in the
what's
game.
the Palmer page? The
town
face-
website?
Facebook
Yeah.
you're talking?
Yeah.
The town Facebook page? Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what you meant by the Palmer page, but you mean the town
Yeah,
website?
the town website, and I was thinking the actual Palmer page that everyone goes to. Facebook Palmer page. Yeah, I think that would, get the word out there pretty good too, for a simple post,
Okay.
and.
I mean, I think
I would love to see somebody from town.
yeah. Ideally what
Myself.
I would like to see is somebody who has worked in this sector, and this is my
Right.
kind of bread and butter. I would prefer to see it advertised in areas where folks who do have a municipal background, a background in municipal management.
I'm not saying don't advertise there, I'm saying add.
I know.
Anything else on that? Okay. So,
Then I have an advertisement from another community that I had pulled together. Just, it's very basic boilerplate language.
Job description. Qualifications.
Very high level, including qualifications and whatnot that I can share. I forgot. I worked on it over the weekend. I wasn't working in Boston today, so I wasn't able to share it around to everybody, but I'd be happy to share as, maybe to take some work off of everybody's plate,
Thank
something
you.
that we can advertise for the town.
yeah, well, we just need to move forward with that tomorrow so that we can.
Yeah, I'll make sure I do that when I get home.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that we are going to advertise on the Mass Municipal Association website as well as our website and our the town Facebook page. And we will advertise for a 10-week period and then.
10-day.
10-day, I'm sorry, 10-day.
Thank you.
Thank you, 10-day period, and then we'll move forward after that with interviews and with the goal of having someone in place by the end of November. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, and then the next item is discussion regarding hiring a consultant to assist with the town manager search. So we don't have to do that. So we have two options. We have the option of just advertising the position on ourselves and doing the whole search ourselves, or we have the option to hire a consultant like we did last time to assist with that search process. So if we are going to go that route, we're going to have to we have two options. So there is one vendor that is under the state. So we could just go with that company. We wouldn't have to get bids. Or if we want to try to get bids, and then we would have to actually do probably an RFP or a request for quotes. If we do a request for quotes, then whoever the low bidder is, that's who we get. That may or may not be someone that we feel is the best. If we do an RFP, then we can set criteria, but that's going to take longer in the process. So those are our options.
In lieu of taxpayer money, how much did the consultant cost the town last time?
Under 10.
110,000?
No,
under
under
10.
10.
10, okay.
Under 10.
Pretty reasonable.
It has to be under 10, otherwise it has to go out to bid according to law.
Correct.
If it's under 50, though, we can just get 3 quotes.
We can, but then you take the
But
low
then we-
bidder. You have to take the
But
low
then
bidder.
you have to take the low bidder, of course.
But then that's a trade-off for time as well.
It is, but I think once we get an interim in place, then I think we're. I
Buys
mean,
us some time? Right.
I mean, I think so. I think that, that's the goal, but
Okay.
we do have the option
Are
of
you
going.
familiar with the state vendor at all? As far as
It's
quality of work?
It's the Collins Center. I have not ever, I don't have any knowledge of them for town manager searches. I've heard them speak on different subject matter at conferences, and I have worked with them a long time ago on, I believe it was a personnel handbook, but it was a long, long time ago. I do know the person that did the work that I was dealing with. She just does still work for the company. I don't know who the
Town
the
manager
people.
division is,
I don't know
right,
who that.
right.
I don't know. I mean, Jess might have some information on them, but I don't have any specifics. Nor have I spoken to anyone who's used them for a town manager search.
I would just think to maintain the kind of third party of clearing the decks on the first round of resumes, maybe going outside either way, either outside option may be the best interest of the town to get it down to, say, 3 finalists. I mean, that's open for discussion, obviously.
Well, they wouldn't get it down to 3 finalists. They would
They do the screening, basically.
They would do the
Right.
screening, and then we will have to discuss when we get further into the process of the makeup of the search committee. And then the
Correct.
search committee would do the preliminary interviews, and then we would move forward to probably 3 finalists for moving forward to the
For
full
the
council.
council, right.
Anybody else?
So what do we actually need to vote on for that tonight?
Well, if we're going to hire a consultant, then we would need to.
Either option?
We have to
Decide
make-
option
we need to
A or
make
option
decision.
B.
We need to
Right.
make the decision whether we're going to do it ourselves or we're going to
Go outside.
contract with a consultant.
Do we need to make that decision tonight?
Yeah, I would say that's what
I would
it's-
say
Should
yes.
in the
we
essence of
should.
time.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how you did it last time, I'm taking it, you used
We
an
went out for
outside
bids.
consultant.
We used an outside consultant. We did not need to get bids because they were under, at that point in time, prices were under $10,000. So you did not have to do that. I believe prices have gone up above $10,000 now, so we will have to at least get bids. But again, I just caution that,
Right.
I mean, I don't know who's going to bid, but sometimes the low bidder isn't the best bidder,
Right.
so.
But either way, there's questions, because even if we go out to bid and we get the lowest bidder and it's not the best choice, or there's the Collins Center, which we don't know of any history about, right? I mean, other communities have used them, but
Yeah.
we personally don't have any.
I can't speak to
Right.
history, but Jessica
Well,
might.
I can
Right.
speak to working with the Collins Center. I don't have any direct experience, but the agency that I work for currently interfaces with the Collins Center quite frequently. They're kind of a smaller group of folks at UMass Boston, and they kind of cover a lot of municipal projects, whether it's, forecasting, capital improvement projects, plans. And then executive searches is something that they do. Ludlow used them for their most recent town administrator search. I believe it's in the best interest of the community that if we're looking for another executive, that we do, hire a consultant, because it comes down to, it is a big decision for us, and it is quite a bit of work that goes into, finding these folks, going through their resumes, applications, and then checking references and all of that, and then, coordinating for interviews and everything. So I would definitely recommend that we go forward with a consultant. And as I said, I don't have any direct experience with the Collins Center, but I'm very close with folks who are pretty experienced working with them, and they have nothing but great things to say about them.
Okay.
So previous recruitments, I just pulled it up quickly. Barnstable, Belmont, Brewster, Bridgewater, Burlington, these are all town administrator or managers, okay? Canton, Carver, Chatham, Chelsea, Cohasset, Dover, Dracut, East Long Meadow,
They're experienced.
Fairhaven,
Yeah, we're only
Foxborough, Framingham, Great Barrington, Hanover, Holliston, Long Meadow, Ludlow, Mansfield, Marblehead, Mashpee, Medway, Millbury, Millis, Milton, Natick, North Reading, Norwell, Northfield, Oak Bluffs, Plymouth, Princeton, Randolph, Raynham, Reading, Rutland, Sharon,
So it sounds like their bench may be pretty deep.
Yeah, and a lot of
Sherburne,
communities
South
have already
Hadley, Southbridge,
trusted them.
Southampton,
Right.
Templeton, Stoneham, Townsfield, Walpole, Wilbraham, Winthrop, Yarmouth. Those were just town manager searches.
I would say that's justification enough to go ahead with them, especially seeing it's in the essence of time again
And money.
And money, right?
Right.
They picked the managers for those towns, this
No.
firm?
No,
No.
those towns
Screen.
hired them
To do the search
to
for
do the
them.
search, to help with the search.
Same company?
The Collins Center.
Collins
Yeah, that's what I
Center,
was
yes.
asking, yeah.
Yes.
What's the difference between them looking at a resume that they were a town manager and us doing the background check? The speed?
Yeah, I don't think any of us, honestly, with all our careers, no one's got time to screen through it, call references, double check,
Right.
go deep
I can
into.
do it in an instant.
Well, what if you get 50 people that apply? You're going to close the diner for 2 weeks?
I mean, I also
Yeah,
think
exactly.
it is. I think it's also in our best interest to have a third party
I
looking
agree,
at these,
100%.
and it's in the best interest of us that there's no, conflict of
Bias.
interest, bias, anything involved in, the search process. So I think, from our side of things, that we should probably just hire somebody to do that.
Agreed.
All right, so the question is, do we want to just go with and I have no idea what the cost is for the Collins Center.
But
And
they're on
just
the
be-
state bid list, so
They are,
no,
but-
they're a public agency, so they're
Got
not a
it.
part of the, you don't have to get a bid from a public agency.
got it.
And that doesn't mean necessarily that they're
The lowest.
the lowest bid, I don't
Right.
know. I mean, I would assume that it's a competitive field where they're pretty much all bidding right around the same amount, but
Right.
I don't know. And, one of the other nice things about using a service like this is because they're dealing with searches in other towns, they know like other people that have applied that had an interest in like the area, and they're able to reach out to those people. Now, I mean, we don't know, last time when we hired somebody, we actually met with the company before we actually gave them a contract. So, I mean, we could meet with the Collins Center, set up a meeting and see what they have to offer. And then if we're not interested in going that route, we would have to then do an RFP. But
Right.
as far as I know, there's like 3 companies that do this work. One is
Oh.
the company we used last time,
Right.
the Collins Center, and then, is it
It's called MRI.
MRI? And I'm not aware of any other one.
Go ahead, Matt.
So if we make the decision to meet with the Collins Center, at least we're still moving in the right direction. Right. So yeah.
Right. And I would just say again, that based on the references you just gave, they obviously are more than credible. The amount of communities that have already used them for the exact same search, town administrator, town manager.
And I think what we're looking for tonight is at least a feeling from the council on what direction we want to go in. If that's the direction, then that gives us the ability to go and set up a meeting like that.
Right.
Any other feedback? So you want me to set up a meeting with the Collins Center?
Do we need a motion for that?
I kind of agreed with Carl for a minute there, that
Yeah.
to do it ourselves. We have done it before.
We still get the final
'Cause
say, though.
Those kind of Collins centers picked out the guys that we did choose from,
No, we didn't use the Collins Center
or
last
whoever,
time.
that
Right.
kind of a firm.
No, they didn't
Who
pick,
did these 3 candidates come
Well,
from?
they applied for the job.
Right.
And
What the
who-
process-
who
so-
finally picked them at the end, those 3?
We did.
The subcommittee,
didn't.
the
The
subcommittee,
subcommittee.
We picked
Right.
the
Yeah, we had
winners,
a
but-
Select
subcommittee.
committee.
the
Right.
subcommittee picked your 3
Yeah.
that they brought forward
Right.
to you, from my understanding. I
And that
wasn't
process
here.
would still happen even if we did it ourselves. We would still have to have a subcommittee because if the council meets, well, only executive, so, actually, I don't know. So when you're a finalist, it's in open session.
Right.
But it's not open session when you're just getting like an initial interview.
Right.
So there's.
That's why it was limited to 3.
Right.
To not violate open meeting laws.
Correct.
Right.
And to keep themselves, they're working somewhere else and they're being
Correct.
interviewed.
Right, it's
so it
anonymous.
doesn't
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
affect their job,
It's
So the vote tonight
confidential.
is to move forward with a consultancy, yes or no?
Correct.
I mean, I hear what you guys are saying, but I certainly don't have, I mean, that's going to take, the process is going to be a lot longer. I mean, they will go through the applications. Last time the way the company did it was they had like 3 different.
Tiers. Tier
right,
1, Tier 2,
tiers.
Tier 3.
Right. And so we still had the ability, we still saw all the applicants, and we did actually pull some people, I believe, from the middle tier to the first tier. But we have that option, but we just, I mean, it is a lot of work, and then that's literally just whoever applies that sees. I mean, MMA is going to be where we advertise. That's not going to be anybody trying to like shake the trees and get people interested. Potentially, I'm just saying, like, if there's an assistant in some town that they're aware of because they've applied for other jobs or they might know of,
It's a big advantage.
it is an advantage, I think, where we would just be literally saying, whoever applies, that's our pool of candidates.
It limits us at that rate.
So if everyone, I mean, we can take a vote, I think we should, because
Yeah.
it sounds like there's.
Absolutely.
So if someone wants to make a motion one way or another, and then we'll go from there.
I make a motion that we move forward with the consultant.
Second.
Interviewing the consultant?
Interviewing the consultant,
We're
yes.
taking the consultant path.
What? Oh,
Path.
The path, yes.
Right.
okay.
But then to further that step, to go with the Collins Center and sit down with them.
Yes.
You got,
Did you
Yeah,
second that?
yeah, I second that.
did you get what the motion was, though? Are you clear on
To
that?
get a consultant.
To hire, to interview,
Meet.
to go to use a consultant for the town manager search. And let's do that first, okay?
Okay,
Yeah,
2
all right.
separate,
Yep.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause
really
there's
easy.
two- there's
Yeah.
Yeah.
multiple
Yep.
things that.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes, that's why I was asking. Okay, so there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Which way did you vote? Abstention?
yeah.
Well, I'm not telling
I'm
you,
gonna
I'm
say
just.
no, I think. I'll say no, because I think it's something that we should just have to do.
Okay. And you voted in favor, Carl?
Yeah, but I'm hedging toward what Phil is doing also, that I think it's very important for the town and to do it ourselves, some we can work with or whatever. It's
Right.
important, but the consultant can bring people in also.
Okay, so is your vote yes, no, or
Yes.
abstain? Okay. All right, so we have 601. Okay, now the next motion would be to,
Meet with the Collins Center.
I'll second.
okay, any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No?
Just because of the
Yep.
last vote. it would be
Abstention,
kinda
okay, so 610.
two-phased.
Okay, so I think that's everything unless the council has anything that I've missed for discussing. Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Is there a
I'll
second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good night.